Hello, it is a wild, stormy Tuesday night here in New York City, and honestly, the thunder outside is nothing compared to the absolute earthquake that just hit Port Charles today. We need to talk about the explosive, bloody showdown at that abandoned house, Rocco's shocking decision, and Britt's ultimate sacrifice. Let's get into it. I cannot breathe. Seriously, I am sitting here typing this at 2:00 in the morning because my adrenaline is still completely through the roof, and I know I'm not going to be able to sleep anytime soon. I mean, did we all just watch the same episode of General Hospital? Because my jaw is currently on the floor, and I do not think it is coming back up. I have been watching this soap religiously since 2015, and I can confidently say that this is one of the most insane, heart-stopping, beautifully tragic things the writers have ever done. I am half celebrating because the villain is finally dead. And I am half complaining because the absolute trauma they are putting these characters through is just too much to handle. Can we talk about this? We have to talk about this. I need to vent to people who actually get it, because my non-soap watching friends just do not understand the magnitude of what just went down. Okay, wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me try to calm down and set the scene, because the cinematography in this episode was honestly movie-level quality. So, Britt Westbourne and Rocco Falconry are officially on the run. They are hiding out in this creepy, dusty, dilapidated, abandoned house somewhere on the absolute outskirts of Port Charles. The lighting was so dark and moody, with just these little slivers of moonlight cutting through the broken window boards. You could literally feel the desperation radiating off the screen. Rocco is terrified, clutching that fake passport his mother got him, and Britt is trying to hold it together, trying to be the adult in a situation that has completely spiraled out of control. And just when you think they might actually have a second to breathe, the door gets kicked in. Enter Ross Coulomb. I am sorry, but Andrew Hawkes is playing this villain role so well that I genuinely get a chill down my spine whenever he enters a room. Coulomb has been hunting them like animals. He finally put the pieces together that Rocco was the one who shot him in the back of Pier 55, and he is not looking to arrest this kid. He's looking for blood. The look in Coulomb's eyes when he cornered them in that rotting living room, pure, unadulterated evil. He did not care that Rocco was just a teenager who made a terrible mistake in the heat of the moment. Coulomb raised that gun, pointing it dead at Rocco's chest, and in that split second, I swear I stopped breathing. But then Britt Westbourne happened. I cannot even type this without tearing up again. Britt, without even a fraction of a second of hesitation, throws her entire body in front of Rocco just as Coulomb pulls the trigger. Bang. The sound of that gunshot echoing through the abandoned house was deafening. Britt takes the bullet meant for Dante and Luca's son. She takes the bullet, the woman who stole an embryo years ago, the woman who has done so many questionable, selfish things in her past, literally sacrifices her own life to save this boy. I was screaming at my television. Screaming. It was the ultimate redemption arc moment, and Kelly Thibaud would act the absolute hell out of that scene. The way she gasped, the way her body jerked from the impact of it was terrifyingly realistic. And let us just pause for a second and think about Britt's journey here. Remember when they tried to redeem her years ago, and it just kind of fell flat because she kept reverting to her old ways? Yeah, didn't work that either. But this works because Britt is already dying of Huntington's disease. She already feels like her clock is ticking, like her life is slipping away. She told Lucas just a few episodes ago that she thought it would be best for everyone if she just disappeared. But she didn't just disappear. She chose to make her remaining time matter. She chose to be a shield for a child. I know some people are loving this heroic turn, but personally I am just devastated because I do not want to lose Britt. I do not want this to be the end of her story. But the scene did not stop there. Because Britt bleeding out, running on pure adrenaline and maternal instinct, does not just fall down. She lunges forward. She uses every single ounce of her fatting strength to tackle Callum. They crash through the rotting back door of the house, stumbling out into the stormy night, right onto the edge of this steep rocky ravine. It was chaotic, it was muddy, it was brutal. Britt is fighting for her life, fighting for Rocco's life, and she manages to shove Callum backward. He loses his footing on the slick mud, teetering on the edge of the cliff. In the struggle, his gun gets knocked from his hand, clattering onto the rocks below them. Okay, back to the point, because this is where my mind literally exploded. Rocco, sweet, traumatized, terrified Rocco Falconry. He does not run away. He does not hide. He scrambles out into the rain, sees the gun on the ground, and he picks it up. Am I the only one who got absolute chills seeing this kid holding a massive WSB-issued firearm? His hands were shaking so violently. The camera pushed in on his face, rain mixing with his tears, and you could see the absolute war raging inside his head. He is a falconry. He is a Spencer. He has the blood of cops and the blood of rebels running through his veins, and he is watching this monster. Callum recovered his balance and prepared to finish Britt off, and he pulls the trigger. He pulls the trigger. He shoots Ross Callum. It was not a warning shot. It was not a grazing wound like on the pier. Rocco shoots to kill to protect the woman who just took a bullet for him. Callum gets hit. His eyes go wide with shock, and he tumbles backward, falling down the ravine to his absolute death. Ross Callum is dead. The high-ranking WSB director, the man who has been terrorizing poor Charles, the man who killed Marco Rios, is dead at the hands of a teenager. I am still processing this. A legacy teenager just caught a body. This is dark even for General Hospital, and I'm entirely here for it. But I am also terrified of what it means. The aftermath of that gunshot was just haunting. The absolute silence that fell over the scene save for the pouring rain. Rocco dropping the gun like it was made of fire, staring down into the darkness of the ravine, Britt collapsing into the mud, bleeding heavily, coughing, trying to tell him it is going to be okay. They are no longer just running from a crazy rogue agent. They just killed a top-tier federal director. They are about to become the most wanted fugitives on the entire planet. The WSB is going to come down on them with the force of 1,000 suns. And they have absolutely nowhere to go. How are they going to get out of this? How does a kid come back from taking a human life, even in self-defense? Which brings me to Dante. Oh my God, Dante Falconry. My heart is bleeding for this man. He is the acting police commissioner. He is the ultimate Boy Scout, the by-the-book cop who has dedicated his entire life to upholding the law. Remember when he arrested his own father, Sonny? Remember when Michael went to prison? Dante respects the badge, but this is his son, his flesh and blood. Dante is now trapped in the most agonizing, impossible dilemma of his entire life. Does he uphold the law and hunt down his own son for the murder of a federal agent? Or does he burn his badge, cross every ethical line he has ever drawn, and help Rocco cover this up? We all know Dante has been teetering on the edge lately, destroying evidence to protect Rocco's secret about the pier shooting. But this is a whole new level. This is a dead body. This is a murdered WSB director. I predict Dante is going to go full rogue, and honestly, I am so ready to see Dominic Zamprogna act his heart out in this storyline. And we cannot talk about Dante without talking about Spencer. Lulu is going to absolutely shatter into a million pieces when she finds out what happened. She is already consumed with guilt. She is the one who got that fake passport for Rocco. She is the one who pushed him into hiding, inadvertently pushing him right into Britt's orbit and right into Callum's crosshairs. Lulu thought she was protecting her baby, but her actions just made him a fugitive and a killer. The guilt is going to eat her alive. I can already see the screaming matches between her and Dante. The desperate tears, the realization that their family might be broken beyond repair. She tried to play the game like her mother Laura or her brother Lucky, but the stakes were too high. And now Rocco is paying the ultimate price. Also, can we just take a second to look at the state of the WSB right now? Because it is a complete and utter disaster. Ross Callum is lying dead at the bottom of a ravine. Jack Brennan, the other top guy, is currently lying in a hospital bed, completely paralyzed and locked in because Nina Reeves accidentally stabbed him with Drew's medication. The WSB is literally headless right now. Who's going to lead the manhunt? Is Jen Sidwell going to use his connections to step into the power vacuum? Sidwell does not even know that Callum was the one who killed his son, Marco Rios. The irony is just staggering. Sidwell has been hunting for Marco's killer, and Rocco just did the job for him without even realizing it. The web of lies and secrets is so tangled right now that I do not think anyone is getting out of this clean. And wait, what about Jason? I almost forgot about Jason because my brain is so overloaded. Jason is currently rotting in a WSB black site in Jakarta, enduring God knows what kind of torture because he falsely confessed to shooting Callum on the pier to protect Rocco. but now Colum is dead. The man Jason is doing time for is literally a corpse at the bottom of a cliff. What does this mean for Jason's release? Steve Burton is supposed to be coming back on contract this June, and this has to be the catalyst. Does the WSB drop the charges because their director was corrupt, or do they hold Jason accountable for the whole mess? Danny is breaking into Windermere right now, trying to find leverage for his dad, completely unaware that his cousin Rocco just ended the whole nightmare by pulling a trigger. The interconnectedness of these storylines is blowing my mind right now. So, where do we go from here? I honestly have no idea, and that is the best feeling in the world as a soap fan. I am dreading the pain that Dante, Lulu, and Rocco are going to go through, but I'm absolutely here for the drama. Will Britt survive?